Good afternoon, my friends. I am testing everything for tonight.
Noon,
Oh,
my
I need to turn this.
friends. I am
Turning this down. I don't need to
testing
hear myself. So
everything for
that's why we test. It's so important. So I have myself on my phone right because I cannot see Instagram on here. We're streaming to quite a few outlets. So we're streaming to my personal Facebook page, my LinkedIn profile, my personal YouTube channel, my Twitter account, and my Instagram account. I can see comments from everywhere except Instagram. So I need to actually have it up here on Instagram just to the comments and questions since Instagram is my most active place. And that's why I think it's crucial to always test because technology really does subscribe to that principle. Is there what can go wrong will go wrong? Murphy's law is not a principle, it's a law. So I'm testing tonight. I'm not testing on the Jamaicans.com Facebook feed though, because I don't want to just post something on their thing. But if it works here, it will work there. So tonight is scheduled a nice webinar for 7 p.m. Eastern. It is daylight savings time though, so that's 6 o'clock Jamaica time. Although we're really only focused on US investors, we will have answers for those of you who are not US persons, which means social security number, tax identification number, or you have an LLC or a S corp, C or C corp with an EIN, employee identification number. We're really excited for tonight and ensuring that we share how to invest safely in Jamaica and beyond, and certainly talk about what we have done and how we feel that it is the best way to also participate. So we're really excited about that. I can be on for a little bit. I don't have any calls for now. I am actually trying to have a little vacation, which is surprising, right? You'd think that I would normally take more breaks than I actually do, but it has been a marathon to get to this point. And then I need to take the break. So I'm taking the break. We will then restart the marathon next week after Memorial Day and kick off our roadshow starting June 1st, sponsoring a golf tournament in Fort Lauderdale. The JC Old Boys Association in Florida has a golf tournament. We are the title sponsor. So we're excited with that. I head to New York after that for some key meetings, and then I will make an appearance on NASDAQ Trade Talks. So we have another US media outlet that we're going to be speaking with. Did 2 interviews this morning, one for the Jamaica Gleaner, so that should be published next week, probably Tuesday. And I also did an interview this morning with OUR Today, an exclusive interview, and that was a lot of fun. Over 10 minutes recorded. Lots of questions. Good afternoon, M. Wiley. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm an open book, as you guys know. So, a great interview this morning with a lot of fun. I can't tell you where because it gives away where I am. I'm trying to keep that quiet for now. If you know, you know. Let's just put it that way. Yes, I am wearing my I Love Burke shirt. This is a Berkshire Hathaway shirt. This one is from, what do you even say? You get it at the annual general meeting in Omaha, Nebraska. This was actually bought by a friend of mine for me. So thank you to Ritu, who actually gave me a call yesterday to support what I'm doing and to catch up. And that's something that really means a lot. When you have somebody in your life who is an entrepreneur, speaking specifically about entrepreneur, they go through hell, right? Entrepreneurship is not for the faint of heart. Most of us have no idea what we signed up for. I did because I went and studied fellow entrepreneurs. But it is really important to understand that they need positive reinforcement and support. Just call in to say, I see what you're doing. Big up, man. Keep going. Can be that little push that day or that week or that month that reminds them that, you know what, I am doing the right thing. Right? They're not crazy. It matters to have that positive reinforcement. So please just call the entrepreneur in your life this week and say, yeah, man, I see what you're doing. Keep going. Even if it's just to reshare something out, it means a lot to us entrepreneurs. Great question, M. Wiley. Now that your company is public, will it be expanding your operations to Jamaicans in Canada? So, M. Wiley, great question. We are not a publicly traded company as yet. We have a public offering of shares. There's a difference. You can have a public offering of private shares. That's what happens under the Jobs Act that was passed in 2012 by Obama and Biden. Jumpstart Our Business Act. So you can do Reg CF, regulation crowdfunding, and then regulation A, tier 1 and tier 2. So we have a Reg CF offering that has been qualified by the SEC. So it's registered, it's qualified, open to US persons. They buy the shares, the company is still private. Once it passes 2,000 shareholders, it becomes a public reporting company. We didn't have to direct list it on NASDAQ. Spotify did this, Coinbase, Palantir, and Roblox did a direct listing, not an IPO. So we have not yet direct listed, so no, we can't take money from non-US persons. The minute that we are listed on NASDAQ, oh yes, we will be coming to visit Canada, and we're going to spend a lot of time in the UK. There is a tremendous pent-up demand to invest in the Caribbean. We in the diaspora have been overlooked for decades. There are people in Jamaica who think we don't have money. You're not hearing a lot? You guys hearing me? You hearing me? Okay, good. I don't know, Brian, fix your headphones. So that is the idea. We have been overlooked. People have treated the diaspora like all we're good for is send money back. You call us and beg us for send back close barrel money. Nobody has asked us to invest. Nobody has created a simple way for us to invest. In fact, some people think we don't have money to invest back into the Caribbean, Jamaica in particular. Oh, sorry about the audio. I guess that's a good point. The audio is a little bit choppy. I am sitting on the patio, so we'll probably work on that later then and see if maybe I should use a different mic. But yeah, man, we have been overlooked. We have been treated as the people that do give handouts instead of the people that can give handouts, right? People come and beg money for the diaspora. Donate to this, donate to that, beg your money. Guys, we can invest in them. Set up a way for us to invest. And nobody did it. I spoke about it 10 years ago at the stock exchange. Nobody did it. 4 years later, Joe Matalan asked me to say it. I love it. Sarah said it's the goal to get listed. Yeah, the goal is always to get listed. Brad, I've been talking about this for 6 years. Every article, every video, every post. We want to become the only publicly traded company outside the Caribbean that's giving retail investors access to the Caribbean. We want to build a Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway is a publicly traded company, Warren Buffett. So the whole point is to get listed and then give people access. Doing that for 3 reasons. Number one, there's a trust deficit. People do not trust investing back into their home country, no matter which one. I love it. Oh, what did Joe Matalan ask me? All right. So I'll go and pause and finish the Joe Matalan and then come back. So 6 years ago, Joe Matalan says, hey, David, why didn't you launch that business idea that you pitched at the Jamaica Stock Exchange conference? You spoke about it at the conference, how to get Jamaicans and the diaspora to invest back into Jamaica, but you never launched it. And I said, I wasn't trying to tell you what I wanted to launch. I was telling you guys in the room, all of y'all at the Stock Exchange conference, what you needed to do to get money from someone like me. And then Joe says, yeah, but you should launch it. You are the perfect person. You worked in finance in Jamaica. We know and trust you. You worked in finance in America and you served on the Diaspora Advisory Board. They know and trust you. You should launch it and we will help. So Joe Matalan, this is little Joe. This is the son. Joe and Vikram Deeman, the CEO, then spend the next year and a half working with the company, the name of the company, the legal structure, talk to some lawyers, and then get going from there. So that is how we initially got started. Eventually, I then sit down and talk with Michael Leach in June 2019. Apologies for the work, somebody doing work at them house across the street. Sorry, apologies for that. So let me go and check here though, if I am a system other question. So, all right, while I have a question, I forget. Oh, right. So talking about why getting listed, then I'll come to M. Wiley's question. So remember, number one, when someone moves away from their home country, it doesn't matter if it's Jamaica, Brazil, Botswana, Malaysia, it does not matter. You move away from a developing country, your home country, There's a trust deficit. It doesn't matter which political party is in power. You do not want to do a diaspora bond. You do not want to give the government their money to invest. There's a trust deficit. So number one, you have to overcome the trust deficit. Number two, most of these people in the diaspora are going to be non-accredited investors, what we call retail investors, average people. They're in the 99%, not the 1%. So they can't invest in a venture capital fund, a hedge fund, a private equity fund. And then lastly, most of these people have never invested in companies in their entire life. They've never bought a stock. So the question they're going to ask is, how am I get my money back? So it needs to be liquid. They don't want to call somebody to ask for their money. So three things you need to overcome. When you have a publicly traded company, I think there's a trust that is solved right there. It is publicly traded, it's regulated, and not some local thing needed in Jamaica. It's listed on a major stock exchange, US, Canada, UK. Well, the US has the strictest laws with SEC. So an SEC regulated company should give you a really good trust level, right? Transparency, because it's regulated, it's reporting quarterly, it has audited financial statements. You can see what the money I do. You can see how much they're paying themselves. What is the money doing? That is what matters. Here's my money. What you do with it? So the report here, some of a fight with regulators or go to jail. Simple. So we solve the trust problem immediately. Second thing now, regular people have to invest. The person with $100, not just the person with $100,000. Well, then if it's public, retail investors can buy. In fact, if it's $10 a share, you just go buy the shares. You don't need $100 and $1,000 and $10,000 and $100,000. $10 a share to buy. When we're listed, it might go up, might go down. I don't control the share price. So that's important. So that's number two, access. And then number three, most important, how am I get my money back? People want to know how to get their cash back. How do I get a return on investment? Boom. Its shares is publicly traded. It's like owning Berkshire, right? I love Berk. It is like owning Amazon, Nike, Apple. You buy the stock, you hold on to it. It goes up in value, it pays dividends, it collects your dividends, you sell the stock whenever you want to sell the stock. You don't need to call somebody and say, how is my stock portfolio doing? How much money I go on? How much you make? You just go look on the report. Simple, transparent. The thing is that it's actually easy to get listed. It's hard to stay listed. And so we are making sure that we can stay listed. And that is the difference. So I don't know if it's brilliant, Brian. To me, that's not brilliant. It's a no-brainer. I need to build a vehicle that gives regular people access to owning assets that are going to generate capital appreciation over the long term. That's it. Regular people want access. If you want to become wealthy, you have to do what the wealthy do, which means you have to invest. The majority of shares in the United States are owned by the 1%. We know this. 1% own like 35% of the stock market. They invest in publicly traded companies and private companies. So give regular people access. And then good. That's what mutual funds are for. That's what exchange traded funds are for. That's what the holding companies do, and Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. So our entire focus is on giving people access, and we start by giving them access to the Caribbean. So really access. Really happy about that. Let me see. We got some more questions. You have an amazing vision. What advice would you have for young entrepreneurs? I don't know if I have an amazing vision. I focus on solving a very specific problem for a specific group of people. I'm just copying Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway. I don't know if that's an amazing vision. I just have vision. 2020 vision. I could see what he did, and I can apply it to my problem that I want to solve and that I am passionate about. I wouldn't say it's an amazing vision. But you have to still execute. So hopefully what you say is that I have amazing execution. Vision really don't matter. You actually need execution. And that's the only mistake in our prayer. That's an anthem. Give us vision lest we perish. We have lots of vision in Jamaica. We're not short of vision. Give us execution lest we perish. Do the thing. Vision we're not short of. Let's actually do it. So let's go from there. But what advice would I have for young entrepreneurs in particular? I would say go and start a business. And before you go and start the business in that area, go and work for 3 months at least in a business in that industry. So you can understand how things are currently done. So now you know where the pain points are and what you can do better. Work inside it first. See it, feel it, touch it, see where the pain points are, see what doesn't work. Leave, start your competitor. And now you know exactly what you can do better and pick one thing that is going to be better. You can't build everything better. Start with one piece. Is it better customer service, better processes? But start by doing better. So work in the industry first. Get some experience, hands-on experience, so you get paid to learn. Then you go and leave and start your own and now try to build a better mousetrap by picking one thing to be better at. And then when you get better, then you pick the next one and the next one. So it's important. Another thing is that you have to talk about what you're doing. Enough people want to keep their mouth shut. If it's a good idea, somebody's going to copy it. If it's a good idea, you're not the only person with it. Execution is what matters. Ideas aren't worth anything. That's why you can't pick up an idea and sell it. You have to execute. Too many people are worried about that. And then lastly, study successful entrepreneurs. Find people who have been successful as entrepreneurs. Look at what they did. Now you have the recipe. You know the steps and figure out which of those steps have you not done. Because you have to do them. You cannot skip the steps. I have not skipped any steps. It is important. The minute you realize you skip one, we go back and fix it. You cannot skip. Warren Buffett actually says that you cannot have a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. You cannot have a baby in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. Think about that, guys. It's going to take time. So look at how successful people scale their business. Start and scale because that's what you want to do. You want to move from being an entrepreneur to a business person. Study successful business people. Success needs tools. That's what we keep saying. I see in this one now. Oh, hey, Kim, big up, Kim. We here. What is the time frame for UK? The time frame is right after we list on NASDAQ. Right? That's the only thing that stops me from raising money in the UK. I want to be listed on a major stock exchange. We are focused on the US because I live in the United States. It's a market that I know. If I lived in the UK, I would have done it in the UK. So we need to get listed. Once we are listed, anybody can buy our stock anywhere in the world. We get listed, boom, gone to Toronto, boom, gone to the UK. We are come everywhere. Brixton, we are come. London, we are come. Right? Manchester, we see you. We will be there. We're going to spend a little bit of time in the UK, probably around the time of English Premier League kicking off. Let's just put it that way. I might as well come in and watch 2 games. So that is the timeline. Get listed, bam, we're coming over to you guys. So I hope you're going to tell me where I can get the best jerk chicken when I come to London and Brixton and these places. So looking forward to it. I'm excited for that. These lives are always so good and informative. Oh gosh, thank you, Kerry. Thank you. I should schedule them ahead of time, right? I shouldn't just pop up on you guys anymore. And I love that I'm going to have this one recorded on YouTube though. So you can watch this with no problems. As to this, I see I'm gonna have to update the logo up here because the tree is our older tree logo. So I need to change this and put our newer logo up here for later tonight. So this is why you do testing. You test. I don't even know if this is a background or something. I think the background is fine. What do you guys think? The background is fine, so like a Jamaica flag here. Do I need to do a different background? I don't know. But feel free to ask more questions. I'm seeing Wireless that thank you. You're ready and waiting to invest. Well, where are you, Carlene? Oh, I love this one, Brian. What kind of time frame are you looking at getting listed? We are trying to get listed by Jamaica's independence this year, August 6th. The only thing that stops me there's only 2 things that stop us from getting listed at this point. There's a checklist that we have to go through, and we have most of the stuff done. So we have our ticker symbol reserve, we have the investment bank in place, we have the market makers lined up. So we have 2 problems remaining. Oh, in the UK? Ready, Carlene. We're ready. We soon get there. 2 things we need. Number 1, we need 300 round lot shareholders. If we converted everybody that previously invested in Bloomerhole Capital and Holdings, Capital Partners Inc., not the special purpose vehicle, we'll move them in. And everybody who has committed so far into this investment at $10 a share into the new vehicle, we would only have 165 shareholders that still need to get to 300. So this is not as simple as Michael Leach and waving a magic wand. It don't work. Money is not the only problem. So I need 300 round shareholders and I need $5 million in stockholders' equity. The simplest way to get to 5 million in stockholders' equity is to have no debt. So this entity, Blue Mountain Capital Inc., has no debt. And then we'll have $5 million of assets on the balance sheet. It doesn't have to be cash, it could be shares in some company. So we need to have $5 million of assets and 300 shareholders. Those are the only two things that stop me from getting listed at this point in time. So we're focused on solving those two things. Obviously, I can ask some people just to give me the 5 million or pieces of the 5 million. So I'm not too worried about that. I still need to get the 300 shareholders anyway. No matter what. If Michael Leach in today say, David, me'll send you $5 million, you're good. We couldn't get listed. It wouldn't matter. I'd have to actually go and I still need to get the 300 shareholders. So that's where we are. We need 300 shareholders to invest $500 a share. And let's get going. So that is why it's crucial that we do this live tonight. That is why it's important that we go under the road show. This is why it's important that we sponsor the Diaspora Conference in June 16th to June 19th in Montego Bay. It's exactly our target market. We get to show them what we have invested in. Talk to them about where we're interested in investing in Jamaica and why. They get to meet me in person and talk to me one-on-one because you should only invest in things that you understand and in people that you trust. Right? You only invest in things you understand and people that you trust. It's much easier to build trust in person. Ask me the questions, you see how I answer them, you can read my body language. The energy I'm giving off is so different than just a video that's perfectly calibrated. Now, you kind of want to watch the video of the person doing a live interview, not a scripted video that was done. Anybody can make anything sound good when it's a script. And that time they did the video. Put them on the spot and ask the questions. And most importantly, ask them how much skin they have in the game. What happens if this fails? How does it affect you? Because what is important is that you might invest $10,000 in a company. What do I have at stake? If it fails, you lose $10,000. What do I lose? Or if I leave and someone's thinking about what do I get if I wasn't doing a good job? Do I get a golden parachute and a bag of money and a bag of shares? No, you shouldn't allow that. You shouldn't invest in that. You need to feel that the person has your interest at heart, that you're in the same boat, rowing in the same direction. And if you feel pain, they feel even more pain. So again, this question from Darren. What are the 3 top growth industries in Jamaica? I'm going to ask you, Darren, what does it matter? Are we investing based on today or investing based on the next generation? That we want to create generational wealth, right? Warren Buffett isn't looking at what are the top 3 industries in America today. He's looking at what is going to happen in the next 20 years, in a generation, the next 30 years. He's thinking generationally. Test. Boom, bam, bam. This is Jason tested. Thank you, Jason. So I'll start with that there. We are thinking, what are strong long-term growth industries that we need to position in to generate risk-adjusted returns that meet at least 15% per year? That's what matters. Just because it's an industry today and a top earner doesn't mean it'll be around. So tourism is a major industry in Jamaica. It's not something I really want to invest in. Rising sea levels means that we have beach erosion, means that the beach can go away. And we don't have a really big competitive advantage on the beaches. So maybe ecotourism, that is going to be growing. Cultural and heritage tourism, that is going to be growing, but those are tiny right now in the Caribbean. You want to invest in what has massive growth opportunity. You can't just look at what is the biggest thing today. We're not investing for today, we're investing for 20 years from now. So I hope that gets you to understand how we think about investing and how Warren Buffett, right, Berkshire, how Warren thinks about investing. That is what we want people to wrap their heads up on. We invest in for 20 years from now, not for today. BPO obviously is a big one. Call centers, business process outsourcing. AI is coming. AI, I think, is not going to kill it. It's going to remove certain jobs, but it's actually going to make it more efficient. AI is going to increase margins for business process outsourcing. And that's not just for Jamaica. Remote work is a real thing. There's a huge opportunity there. You think about agriculture in the Caribbean. Agriculture is also a big earner in Jamaica, but we mainly export just the mangoes, for example, not the mango pulp, not mango juice. The value added part is what is more important. There's like bauxite. Bauxite is, I think, our third largest earner in Jamaica for foreign exchange. We're not invested in bauxite. It damages, the environment. So we're not interested in something like that. But we export aluminum. You dig up the red dirt, that's bauxite, you refine it into alumina, put it on a barge, ship it to Louisiana so it can go to the smelter to turn into aluminum, which then gets turned into aluminum sheet, which then gets turned into an aluminum can, which gets printed Coca-Cola on it, and they send the can back here and then squirt the Coca-Cola in there and sell it to you. Who makes the most money? Coca-Cola. Not when you start with just the dirt. You have to move up the value chain. So that's what we need to be looking at. Where further along the value chain can we invest or move companies to? You feel like Jamaica used to do a lot more value adding and all that changed in the 90s. We used to have so many more factories and manufacturing plants that are not just closed. And yeah, they just closed now repurposed warehouses. And that's 100% true. Jamaica had two problems. Number one, we're not competitive on electricity costs. 33 cents per kilowatt hour, Trinidad. So it subsidizes the electricity. That's why Trinidad has a massive manufacturing sector. So that's a problem. We are not cost competitive, and solar and wind is not going to change that because that's intermittent power. You need solid energy dense, always on power. So that's why we do what we do. We will see what happens with nuclear small modular reactors. We think there's an opportunity there. But more importantly, we had a financial crisis in the 90s, similar to the savings and loan crisis in the United States, the SNL crisis in the 80s. They use the Federal Resolution Trust Entity Company to fix that. You put the bad debt onto that vehicle and then slowly sift through and sell it. They had to do the same thing after the financial crisis in 2008. In Jamaica, we had that financial crisis, partly because of high interest rates, partly because some of the financial institutions were lending improperly. They were taking short-term deposits to make long-term loans. So you have mismatched liabilities and assets, which is utterly stupid. So that's why some financial firms failed and some didn't. Think about that. The mismanagement. So we had bad economic policy and we had mismanagement of financial institutions. These companies collapsed, but they've been raising interest rates to even as much as 200% on a business loan. Your business is taken from you. They capture your business and take out because you can't pay the debt, so they take the assets. Your business is closed, you have to file for bankruptcy, and then they put it into FinSac, right? This is a financial sector adjustment company. Collect all those debts, NCB being one, for example, roll it up and then slowly sell it off to people. Why would you, as an entrepreneur, now go back in and take that kind of risk until policies were better and stable? The banks are going to risk averse in lending. You have destroyed an entire generation of small and medium-sized businesses. An entire generation of middle class leaves the country because of what happened. And on top of that, the workers that they had, these skilled workers, now are out of work, and everybody become a hustler. And know how to weld and so on. So it's unfortunate. And also, basically doubled Jamaica's debt overnight because the government had to take on the failure of, for example, Central National Bank and then create a Jamaica Deposit Insurance Company and then give people back their money. That has a lasting impact on our culture. So I appreciate that. Can you express your opinion on Jamaica's energy sector? It's like any other small country's energy sector. It's usually one player that does the transmission, a few players, a handful of players that would do the energy generation. So Jamaica is behind Barbados on use of solar. Basically, every single house in Barbados has solar water heaters. That's not something in Jamaica. Some of the newer developments do have that. What we're doing in Old Harbour does have that. But you would think that a country that has gold in their flag, gold is in the Jamaican flag, right? It represents the rays of the sun, sunshine. And we don't have solar panel on every house. How the hell are we running around with this flag and we are not promoting solar in a bigger way? It's embarrassing, personally. So Jamaica's energy sector should be much smaller than this because we should have solar PV, solar photovoltaic on almost every house. It should be 80% solar. We shouldn't be talking about no JPS bill. Right now, you should be in your house with AC. So we have been wasteful. But again, the resource curse is a real thing. Resource curse does not just apply to oil. Right? You have the oil and you just waste it and waste the money. The resource curse also is land is a resource curse. Anything that you have too much of, you take it for granted. Jamaica full of land, fertile land, arable land, and we're not one of the biggest agricultural exporters in the world, but we're making Netherlands be a bigger exporter than us. They're in the top three. They don't have land like we have. How the hell are we letting that happen? So think about it. Land. That is a resource curse. Turn around, think about sunshine. We got lots of sunshine. Resource curse. We don't value it. We have too much of it. We have enough rain. Where's all the water catchment? How is it possible that we live in the tropics and we have more of them consistently running low on water? That don't make no sense to me. We literally have a song saying many rivers to cross. Now we have so much river in Jamaica. We have a town named Ocho Rios. 8 rivers. We don't have more hydroelectricity in Jamaica. This is why vision don't matter. Where is the execution? That is it. So I've shared some information, important information with you there. I appreciate that. Hopefully you guys thinking more. The land of wood and water has a water crisis. How the hell does the land of wood and water have droughts? That don't make no sense, guys. It don't make sense. And if we just stop and pull back, we would realize it don't make sense. And then we would hold politicians' feet to the fire and say, hey, this don't make no sense. What you do? I not vote for you if you not start the thing out. I kick you out. I vote for the next man instead. And that is what we have to do. You have the power to make this country better. And it should not take anybody from the diaspora coming to vote. Not a single thing. Jamaicans on the ground have the power. Right? I have the power. Yeah, no, I'm giving away the fact that I'm a real latest baby and he man thing, but my thing. But you actually do have the power. You have the power. So let's use it. I appreciate it. More questions, guys. Come on. I appreciate that Mal Call Evex, land of wood and water, and have a water crisis. It's so true and it's so disheartening. When I bring people here to Jamaica who don't have the things that we have and they're just so impressed and then they're just lost. And I don't understand how you guys not richer. I don't have all this sun and that clean solar. Germany actually has more solar than Florida. Florida is the same thing. Florida is called the Sunshine State. It's one of the lowest installations of solar in the entire United States. Germany, which is cloudy and overcast, has more solar than Jamaica, or per capita, has more solar than Jamaica or Florida. So it's not even a Jamaica thing. Again, it's a resource curse. Brian is saying, if only, low voter turnout on partisan politics. Yeah, partisan politics only exist because of low voter turnout. How many uptown people, how many middle class people go and vote? You can only have low voter turnout, 27%, 30%, when people choose not to vote. But then those same people turn around and complain. If you don't vote, you can't complain. That's how I look at it. If you did not vote, then you cannot complain. Not reasonably, because you did nothing. If 60% of Jamaicans would actually show up and vote rather than complain and say, oh, it's fine, vote. Pick one and vote. Vote them out if that's what you're going to do. But show up and vote. People died for the right for people who look like you and me and sound like me and you to vote. People died for that, And then we take it for granted. Really? Your ancestors walked from Morant Bay for rebellion, for freedom and ability to vote. And we get it and dash it away and don't care. But Heroes Day will come in October and we're going to be partying and celebrating. Independence Day is going to come. Emancipation Day is going to come. August 1, August 6. And we will celebrate those things and we'll big up the heroes and we will not acknowledge that they died for freedom and our right to vote, but only 27%, 33% are show up for vote? No, that don't work for me. So I seen this one. I'm out of questions. You say, agreed. All right, I'm out of questions. I appreciate your wisdom and sharing it with us. I will definitely be keeping in touch with you. Yeah, man. Big up M. Wiley in Canada. I appreciate it. Maybe I missed this, but what is the 5-year and 10-year plan of your investment goals in Jamaica, and how does this translate to investment appreciation? That's a factual one. That's a great question. So I don't have a 5-year plan. I have a 10 and a 20-year plan. I'm investing for generational wealth creation. So let's start with that. And Jamaica has a vision 2030. We're behind. It might as well be like Highway 2000. We're behind. So call it vision 2050 at this point in time. Island time is a real problem. Inefficiencies are present. One of the 3 things that should get you excited about investing in a country, a region, and industry, right? You want that perception is different from reality. So people think small islands equals small returns. That's not true. We know that. The Chinese know that. The Spanish know that. So first one, perception is different from reality. Number 2, there should be a lack of equity capital flowing into that region, that country, that industry. Definitely have a lack of equity capital coming into Jamaica and Barbados and the whole region. And then lastly, inefficiencies must be present. So you need to invest there. You can't invest in a perfectly efficient market and make any money. First, though, Jamaica is 20 years behind India. You just look at any developing country and what they've done if they're ahead of us. So you look at India, you can go back and look at Singapore, go back and look at South Korea, right? You know exactly where you need to invest. It's actually that simple. Just go back and look at what industries grew as per capita income grew, as fiscal policy improved, and you know where to invest. People make more money, people going to spend more money. Consumer goods, so consumer packaged goods make sense. People need more cars, and transportation is going to be a thing. People are going to need more housing. Population is going to grow. You're going to have more urbanization, right? Rural development. So you're going to see infrastructure. People need more roads and highways and dams. People need more energy. So the energy sector is going to grow. People have more money, which means that they're going to need more savings accounts, more checking accounts, credit cards, business loans, bank accounts, buy insurance. So financial services grows 2 to 3 times faster than GDP growth. So those are the areas that we can close our eyes and invest and sleep soundly for the next 20 years. Just look at India, look at Singapore, South Korea, look at Rwanda, look at Botswana, look at Brazil, look at Mexico. You've seen this, and there's nothing special. Same thing going on here. Not any different. So that's our plan. What matters is that we focus on targeting a specific return per year. So our hurdle is 15%. That's our internal hurdle. That's not an external hurdle because we're not a fund. Our goal, though, is to grow the money at 15% per year. That means in 5 years, you double your money. We will look at Panama, but it's not one of our first 4. Panama is in Central America. It is part of the Caribbean basin. So obviously, we have the Caribbean Sea touches those countries. We will look at them as part of the Caribbean basin. Panama is not a member of CARICOM. So we want to focus primarily on CARICOM countries. So Suriname, Belize, Guyana are in South America, but they're CARICOM countries. Panama is not. So Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua are not necessarily, oh, let's run and go jump in. We will consider them, but we start initially with Jamaica, Bahamas, Barbados, and Guyana. Those are the first 4 that we want to focus on. We have relationships in Turks and Caicos. We have relationships in Cayman. We have relationships in St. Lucia. We have relationships in Grenada. We can get to Dominica as needed as well. We have relationships in Belize. So there are places we can move to, but we need to stay narrowly focused first and go deep. You think about your cash like it's water. If I spread it out too thin, it just becomes this lake on the surface. Not even a deep lake, just this little lake on the surface of the ground. If we pull it back together like water and put it in a line and make it run back and forth, it becomes this river that eventually creates the Grand Canyon. So you want to go deep and narrow. Deep and narrow. So don't spread your money too thin. Don't spread your time too thin unless you don't want to have much impact. We want to have deep impact. So we have to move that capital in a deep way. So we have to go deep into a country, make changes, scale, get capital. When we scale the capital, now we can move out to other countries. So that's why we're starting with 4, where we feel that the political environment is good, where they have stable financial services. Thank you. I appreciate that analogy. Thank you. So yeah, man. But it's also that's important for your own time. A lot of people hear about this hustler culture, hustler mentality that they need side hustles, and then they go and get 10 jobs. And it means that they spread your time too thin, you spread your energy too thin. In fact, you spread your capital too thin, and you become a jack of all trades, master of none. We've been taught this. Don't be a jack of all trades, master of none. Specialize. Focus narrowly on the one thing you want to get to do. You cannot get up and say, well, I'm going to play a little football, a little baseball, a little basketball, and a little tennis and hope to become a professional at all. That's not what happens. When you realize you're really good at one, football, for example, Messi says, great, I'm going to do football and I'll do nothing else. I'm playing football. I'm going to go pro at football. You focus all your energies and efforts now on that. That's what you have to do. Focus. That's the difference between successful people, especially outliers, and everybody else, the 80%, right? This is a normal distribution. 10% one side, 10% on the other side, 80% in the middle. Those are not the actual numbers. Just being clear, I know that. I know that's not the actual numbers, but I'm going 10, 80, 10. Top 10%, bottom 10%, middle 80%. Bell curve. Do you want to be in 80% or you want to be on the 10%? That's top. Because none of you on this is in the bottom 10%. So we're not talking about that. We're not either in the middle or pushing the top 10%. Well, the difference between the middle 80% and the top 10% is that the top 10% focuses narrowly. The middle 80% that do everything. But that's partially because the middle 80% is trying to struggle. They're living paycheck to paycheck. But they have a mindset that they also need to adjust. So adjust the mindset, narrow your focus, elevate yourself. Appreciate that. Guilty. We're all guilty of this. We're all guilty of this. I appreciate that you're willing to say guilty. I was guilty of that. We're all guilty of that. Are there any constraints that Jamaica is facing that becoming a republic will solve? Not a damn thing. Won't make a difference for business in any way, shape, or form. All you're going to tell me is, fine, what is the final court of appeal? Like, is it the Privy Council I'm going to? Is it the Caribbean Court of Justice, or am I staying at a court in Jamaica? That's the only thing that change. But it takes so long to get there anyway. Fix the efficiency first. It don't matter. I can't wait 15 years to get to the Privy Council or the Supreme Court of Jamaica or the Caribbean Court of Justice. So I could care less which court I'm going to get to. By the time we get there, I'm probably dead. So that doesn't make sense. Being a republic doesn't change anything. Being a republic for Barbados is that no, hasn't changed anything for business. It makes absolutely no difference on the business side. It makes a difference in how you as a people see yourself. Sometimes that actually matters. That's powerful. You can say, I've truly freed myself of the chains of our masters or slave masters. So mentally, that's a good thing, right? We had Marcus Garvey, one of our heroes, who helped to start the Black liberation movement in the United States. He said, emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Just because we would finally be free of the King of England doesn't mean that we're actually mentally free. I think Jamaica still have our classism problem. So how does becoming a republic change that? It's not going to change that. So I love that question though. All right, so Darren is asking, though it's not public information, how invested is Blue Mountain Capital in the Jamaican economy currently, and what is the organic annual growth rate you're aiming to achieve? So I like that. Well, to date, we have raised 1.45 billion US dollars. But that doesn't show up on Blue Mountain Capital Inc. because it created a special purpose vehicle just to go in and start with affordable housing and then scale. So there's nothing on the balance sheet of that vehicle. Everything we've done has been done through Blue Mountain Capital Partners Inc. and Blue Mountain Holdings, which are not going public. We will move some assets around later, but we've invested some of that, and it's not just in Jamaica. So we're tiny. We're actually very, very tiny. We are the 10th largest shareholder in KLE Group, which is listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange on the junior market. Happy about that, but yes, I would say people need to focus more on the new vehicle and what we're going to do with that capital. So for argument's sake, we can do a reggae offering that raises 75 million US, not just 5 million. We can deploy a nice chunk of that 75 million US into Jamaica and Barbados, Bahamas, and Guyana. Our investment bank that we're talking to wants to do an additional public offering of another 100 million US. That's 175 million. We've launched a Caribbean REIT. We haven't started marketing yet, a REIT in the US that can raise up to 75 million US per 12 months. So every 12 months, we could deploy another 75 million US into the Caribbean. So you have to focus on what we can do because of a listed vehicle or the way that you can do exemptions in the US to raise money and focus on that. In terms of our target rate, I don't want to say if it's organic or inorganic. There's no difference. All that matters is return on invested capital, ROIC, not return on equity, because you don't want to just look at the equity someone deploys. If they're able to allocate capital that's borrowed and create a return on, that's even better, right? It means that you can turbocharge. If you can have 20% equity and 80% cash that is borrowed and then deploy that at a really good return, that's great. Our baseline is 15%. That means that we then double the assets. So 15% is our target, and we go from there. So don't focus on in the past and what we're doing. You don't benefit, right? Investors of today don't benefit from the growth of yesterday. Investors of today do not benefit from the growth of yesterday. You have to focus on the growth of the future. So the money you give us now, what we're going to do with it, how much we're targeting as a minimum return. 15% is our minimum growth target from a return on invested capital. So imagine that we raise, well, let me practice it for tonight. So NOR will be economically free due to structural adjustment programs. Well, we have no structural adjustment program anymore in Jamaica. We're free of an IMF deal and we pay them up. So Jamaica has constrained itself with the laws that it passed. So there is no more structural adjustment program. Jamaica is not economically free though, because it cannot attach at the hip to the United States. So economic freedom doesn't exist as long as you are not making enough money to scale your country. Now, I want to plant a very simple seed. If you have a calculator, you can pull this out. Because I realize a lot of people don't think this through. We're going to build 700 houses in all harbor, Jamaica. Those 700 houses cost 8 million Jamaican, cost 51,000 US to sell, sign up 8 million. We have to spend roughly 25,000 US to build a house. It could go up or down, but cost 25K. So that's a gross margin. 25, we split that half and half with the developers, the partners. So we get back half of that. It's going to cost us 17.5 million US dollars to build 700 houses. Do we need $17.5 million of equity to build it? In fact, do we actually need $17.5 million one time, even if we borrowed it? No. We need $1 million to break ground and prepare the property, and another $1 million to start building. You build houses in phases. So we're building the first 200. We'll sell them off. The cash is sitting there as we deliver the house. We hand over. So we use $2 million, not $5 million. I can take $2 million, prep the land, start building houses, start delivering houses. Every time we deliver the house, we get the money for it. The house is covered entirely by NHD because of the price point. We deliver the house, we get paid for the house, we generate our profit on the house. We then get back our initial investment. That's how it works. If I put in the money, I get my money back first. Then we split the profits with our partner. So we get back our money. We then deploy the base to keep the profits. And we take the same money back. So say 2 million we spend, we get back the 2 million because we build a house them and we get our profits. We then put the 2 million back to work. That 2 million goes and build houses again. Collect $2 million back because that was the base. It's going to be set aside. So the same $2 million has now generated profits for $4 million worth of houses. So the same $2 million can be used over and over and over until we build $17.5 million worth of houses, which then generates $35 million of gross revenue. We need to remove the 17.5 of cost, but it wasn't the same. It's really 2 million, right? But call it 17.5. So that leaves 17.5, and then we split that half and half. So call that 8.25 or 8 million, right? 9 million. It's obviously not those numbers, but it's between 8 and 9. Great work to do. Call something happen, call it 8. $2 million will generate $8 million of profit. Of profit. $2 million will generate $8 million of profit. Do you want to own a piece of that company at $10 a share, 500 minimum, and it's going to be publicly listed with no debt on the balance sheet and not using any debt? That was without using any debt. So that's how you have to think about things. I don't need to spend 17.5 million of new money. I can keep using the money over and over. You reinvest some of the capital to grow the business. To me, that makes complete sense. A lot of people don't think about money and deploying capital that way. But that is how it works. Capital is oxygen of your business. If you are good at allocating capital, the more money you get, is the more you can put it to work. And 15% is our target. And we're excited to give regular investors access to this because we've seen wealthy people do it. Again, if you want to be wealthy, you have to do what the wealthy do, which means you have to invest. You want access to what the wealthy invest in. How do you get access? Right? Who is giving you access and how much are they charging you? Are they charging you 2% and 25%? 2% management fee and 25% of the upside, the performance fee, with a hurdle rate of 8%? Some people are doing that right now in Jamaica. That's not what we are going to do. We are giving the same level of access we have. I don't need to charge no 2 and 25. That's a fund. That's not what we're going to do for Blue Moho. Blue Moho is like Berkshire. That's not what Warren Buffett does. So that's not what we're going to do. So really appreciate. Hey, Neos Life, I'm see begin. Hey, Ligony Club. Hello, Ligony Club. Love that place. Ligony Club is where the opening scene of Dr. No, the first James Bond movie, was filmed. A lot of people don't seem to remember that. Hey, Brandon, Carvalho Sports Group. Big up, big up, big up. Guys, I'm here. I'm just running the test for tonight. So send me some questions. Let me know if the audio is fine. Tell me if you think I should change my background. You mean you just hope the UK can get in? Why wouldn't they get in, Caroline? Just buy the stock. We will be publicly traded on the NASDAQ the same way you would buy Apple stock. That's like saying that you hope you can get in the Apple stock. Let's go to your broker and tell them you want to buy Blue Moho Capital once it's listed. That's it. There's no worry about you hope the UK can get in. Just buy the shares, man. You're not gonna have a problem getting in. Don't worry about it. Absolutely not worried about you guys getting it. You will get it. Just let me get listed. And then you can get in as much as you want or as little as you want. And you have time, right? We're going to have grandmothers buying shares for their kids born abroad and saying, hey, you're good for Jamaica. It's only US persons right now. While it's private, there's no ticker symbol that has been revealed, Marley, because they're not publicly traded yet. And so the SEC does not allow us to reveal the ticker symbol. So you can't tell the ticker symbol right now. So yes, Carlene, once we are publicly traded on NASDAQ, anybody in the world can buy. It's exactly like buying Amazon stock or Google or Facebook. It's open to anybody. Right now, we are not publicly traded. So the exemption we're using to raise money from the public only allows US persons to invest because we're a US company using the US securities laws. We clear now, guys? Or you have any more questions? Avalanche is asking, when will the listing be live? I don't control that. I need to get to 300 shareholders and 5 million in stockholders' equity, then we can direct list. So I have zero control over when we go live. We have to submit another set of paperwork to the SEC. SEC is going to take at least 30 days to qualify that offer. They review, qualify it. Once that's qualified, it moves up the amount we raised in, and we'll drop the dollar amount minimum for you to invest. So it will move to 75 million and drop it to $100 minimum to invest. Once we get the 5 million stockholders equity, we can direct list at any point after that. We get to decide. I would like to get it listed by August 6th, Jamaica's independence. But you can't hold me to that because I have zero control. The SEC gets to decide what happens, not me. Just the way it is. But that is part of playing the game that we're playing. And so you go. So Caroline said, okay, cool, bam. That's the you, by the way. So yeah, guys, let me know if there's anything you would recommend that we do a little different on this setup. I think I'll just stick with this. I do need to go and change this logo. So I'll probably mess with this a little bit while I'm here. There's this brand button. And there's that. That's where that comes. I have that. I do need to change that. Yeah, that's great. What is this? Wow, that's interesting. I have all these things sitting in there. Bam, bam, bam. I always like this one. You completely understand. Great. Do you have a mentorship program? I love that one. I'm going to put it this way. First of all, no. And I will never have a mentorship program. No, here why. You think the background works, sometimes the video and audio slow down. All right, keep that in mind. So, mentors spend a few hours with many people. You check in with a mentor once every 3 months. Teachers spend many hours with a few people. I've never heard anybody talk about a mentor from high school or prep school that influenced their life. Right? I'm talking about a teacher that really influenced their life. Coaches pick players for the team and help them to win. I hear you saying about talk about coach Glenn Mills, not mentor Glenn Mills. Coach. And then sponsors open the door for you. So you want to move from mentor, which is somebody you can read about. Richard Branson was my mentor. I've never met him. Michael Leach was my mentor before I met him. Warren Buffett is my mentor. I've never met him. Mentors are people you can study and learn from, get frameworks. Teachers are people you can learn from. You never have to meet a teacher to learn from them. The best teachers have done videos, they've done interviews, people have written books about them, they have written books, and they are able to teach. So you can learn from the teacher. Hopefully, I've been teaching people for years. Hopefully, right now, I'm teaching you, not mentoring. Teach. What most people want is a coach, not a mentor. They want one-on-one time to be very specific and ask for advice. They want coaching, individual coaching. In fact, it's called business coaching. That's a business. I am building out a platform with someone. We have to pause right now because it's kind of more important working on Blue Mountain Capital. But we will create a platform online, it's a course, and it's coaching entrepreneurs. We're going to have a life one and we're going to have a business one. I need to separate them a little bit. Free of charge. I'm not here to make money from no blasted online coaching. That's not my business. I'm not interested in making money from that. If we make money, we'll donate it to charity. So we will create a platform or work with a platform to create this coaching course that's free so you can do it at your own pace. And we go from there. So I hope that answers the question and I appreciate that one. So big up. I will have that. So this is this overlay, and that's not what I want. This is the old one. I don't want that either, so I'll get rid of that. Delete logo. So yeah, man, fire more. I love that. I love that. Guys, let me know. Because I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to do this one. I just oh wow, let me do that one. Yeah, I'm having fun. I'm watching myself from the Blue Moho Capital Instagram page, so I can see your questions here. I'm not getting any questions or comments elsewhere. I would love somebody to go on Twitter and test it. It would be nice if somebody would check it on Twitter. I'm not seeing anybody on LinkedIn either. It's 1:00. We're all at lunch. Nobody not on LinkedIn right now. So hey, big up cuz. All right, so I need to go and fix these things. These are great. And I'm going to have to log into Canva and go and fix these things. Oh yeah, and do I even really need this one when I have the thing at the bottom? You know what I haven't had in a while? I haven't had one of those streaming things at the bottom. Where is that? Wow, banners. Here it is. Banners. Questions and comments. www.alanford.com when people ask where they can actually go and list. And then we have, look at this, today's session. I can, oh yeah, I have to fix all of them things. All of them things. I love it. I love it. This is fun. I really love this stuff, guys. I love messing with technology like this. Oh, come on, run some questions. I love the questions. Please let me know. You know that I should have the disclaimer at the bottom, the investment disclaimer that everybody always has. I need to find that. No, it's not clickable. No, it's not. It's a good point, but that's not. On LinkedIn, is it Blue Moho Holdings? No, it's streaming on my personal David Mullings LinkedIn profile. So linkedin.com/in/David P. Mullings. Let me double check and make sure. It should be that though. LinkedIn.com/in/David P. Mullings, or is it just David Mullings? Nope, just David Mullings. All right, easy. Yep. That's me. Oh, look at me. Oops. I put link.com. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, perfect. Big up Carrie in the building. Big up Carrie in the building. Let me go back and look at this. I'm going to go finish this work. I need to, I really should go and get this investment disclaimer. Look at this. I just going to go on Google quick. Grab it. Investment disclaimer. And then we're going to find an example. Oh, look at this. The information provided. Let me see. Let me see. Haha! Is for information purposes. Did. Oof. Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. So you guys are going to do this. Oh. Somebody's about to call me. I'm going to have to mute you guys because I'm about to take a phone call. This should be fun. Somebody's coming in an office line. So check this out. Give me a second.
So, do I sound Jamaican to you? I don't have the accent.
No, you don't. I can let you guys listen to this
I
talk just
can
for
hear,
the
I can
fun of it.
definitely hear your
So the
accent
things-
there, David.
so-
But I was just talking with
Speaking about-
Dr. Joel, and he said it's possible. I told him I was his name, and he said it's possible. When he met with you a few years ago, his company is a consulting firm, if I can find.
All right. Well, I mean, ultimately, so I figure you're calling me to talk to me about cybersecurity and bringing it to the Caribbean, in some way.
Exactly.
All right. Well, so we need to talk later. Not now. It's not the time. We're really only focused on our listing right now. We have a offering out to the public, so we need to get the 5 million in stockholders equity, execute the deals that we already have lined up, and then get listed on Nasdaq. Hoping to list by Jamaica's independence this year. That is our narrow focus. So all my calls, all my time is existing investors, new potential investors, the deals that we already have lined up, and I need to get listed. And then after that, we can look at the other things. But send me something though via email, david@bloomerholecapital.com, because I can at least introduce you to somebody. We do own a 10% stake in a firm in Jamaica that does cybersecurity, and I sit on their board, and I'd love to connect you to the CEO of the company.
That would be awesome. Awesome. So that was David at Bloomerhole.
Yeah, at bloomerholecapital.com.
Capital.
Okay. Yeah, and if you messed up, it's on the side again. Let's fill out the contact form.
Right, I'm actually on the site right now.
Right.
Do you ever provide funding for companies in the United States or no?
So as long as the company is doing things that benefit the Caribbean, we can invest in it. But you'll see on the Bloomerhole Holdings website what we're looking for in terms of the business itself. So we are very much Warren Buffett in our approach to investing, a little private equity. Right. So there's a minimum that we're looking at in terms of revenue, for gross margins, for net income, for the management, their approach. We look at most industries, not all. But right now, that's not the priority. We really need to just focus on the deals that we already have on our plate. And that's $175 million worth of projects I need to just focus on doing. And to be honest, we don't have to do anything else. Right? We need to raise that money and get those deals done. You know what that's like?
Yeah, totally.
But we're open. We're open.
I got in contact with you. Glad I got in contact with you. I'll send an email with, at least a business plan, something that kind of explains what we're trying to do. The reason I reached out is because I'm currently in a program here in Pierce County, Tacoma, Washington, that is looking for me to raise capital on my own.
No, we're going to mute you guys.
I was
All
originally
right.
back there for the Jamaica Stock Exchange conference.
Yeah, man. Big things. I like
That's
that.
the only time I've been back home.
All right. Well, we need to get you home
All right,
more
David.
often. But we'll talk, man. I appreciate it. Shoot me the email.
Will do. Take care.
Yeah, man. Later.
Bye.
Bye. So that's interesting. I want to say what I was muted. I didn't want you to hear the calls, parts of the call. There were parts of the call you could hear. There were parts of the call I didn't want you to hear. So this is somebody who called me on the office line. So that's why I answered. I'll let you hear someone once I understood I was going to talk, and then once you got into some stuff that could be private, then I wanted to mute it so you don't hear that part. But I did want you to hear live. That was a live call. There's somebody calling the 1-800 number wanting to talk to me because a lot of early stage companies make this mistake. Right? If you Google me, you'll see BlueMahoholdings.com and BlueMaho Capital. It's very clear what BlueMaho Capital invested. We want to focus on things that benefit the Caribbean, and we're listed on there. BlueMaho Holdings blatantly lists what we're looking for in terms of the company and the size and the minimum revenue. Startups typically don't fit that. And so before you go to somebody and ask for money, you need to do the research to know what they invested. The minute you go to somebody and ask them to invest in the wrong thing, is at the wrong stage or wrong industry, what happens is that is a red flag immediately to experienced investors, because it means that you have not done your research. It means it's your first rodeo. And that makes it easy to just say no. You have to take the time to do the research. Say, okay, what stage does this person invest at, and what industries do they invest in? Are they a pre-seed investor, seed round, early stage, or are they looking for a Series A, Series B? Are they only a private equity investor? Do they even invest in startups? I don't invest in startups through Blue Mountain Capital. So it don't really make sense to call me to ask me to invest in a startup, or for me to go and make an introduction to you. I don't know you. If I know you, I can make some introductions. But if I don't know you, then why would I recommend it to somebody else when I have no idea how you might affect my reputation? So that's important. You need, as an early stage entrepreneur, to be very careful about who you go to, because it now is the first impression that that person has. And it shows a lack of due diligence. It shows a lack of research. And that's never a good thing. In this case, cybersecurity, we own 10% in BlueMaho Holdings of a separate vehicle in Jamaica that does cybersecurity and outsource IT services. We own 10%. I've been on the board for like 5 years. So let's go. I can put them in touch with each other though. That's great. So I can still be of value to the person. So I always try to be of value to someone who reaches out to me. It's not, no, I'm not talking to you, I don't want you to always, but that's not what it is. Guys, here's what I am focused on doing. And it's all I need to do right now. So you either help me with this or you're not helping me with this. I'm not getting distracted. Avoid distractions, right? Stay focused. However, I can give you some advice. I can open a door. I'll find a way. At the very least, you're going to get advice from me and you'll be smarter for it. No problem. So I would always answer those emails. I'll always answer those calls. I'll always answer those questions. You will get some value from it in some way. It's never no, go ahead. It's no, here's what you need to look at though. And I think you're better for that. And I think if more people with capital did that, it would make everybody smarter. Some people are selfish with their time. Which is not a bad thing. You should be selfish with your time, but don't be selfish with your knowledge. You can record a video and post it. I'm doing this right now. So don't be selfish with your knowledge. You should be selfish with your time though. I can always get back money. You cannot take away my knowledge. I'm not even losing that. I cannot get back time. I can spend money, I can lose money, I can make it back, I can make more. I cannot make back time. My time is gone. It's gone. I've been on this for 1 hour and 11 minutes. I will never get back this 1 hour and 11 minutes. However, it's recorded. It's now on LinkedIn, it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, it's on Twitter, it's on Instagram. Somebody didn't come to the live is going to be able to go and watch this. and learn from it. It might even be a year from now on YouTube. It might be 10 years from now on YouTube when they watch it. And they're going to learn something from it. I get to know impact over time. So spend 1 hour, impact forever. I love doing that stuff. Don't be selfish with your knowledge, guys. Please, every single person on here have knowledge that can help somebody. Actually, I said in the interview this morning, I was saying if you recognize that you're a lifelong student, a lifelong learner, it means that even if you're a billionaire, you can learn from the man pushing a handcart down a Coronation Market. They have something, some lived experience, some knowledge about something that might be useful, right? You can learn from everybody. It might be learning what not to do, what not to say, what not to wear. But you can learn from every single person that you meet. Don't look at how they dress. Don't look at how they talk. Don't look at how much money they have. Listen. Remember, 1 mouth, 2 ears. If my mother and my wife ever see this, I'm in trouble. But I'm saying it. You have 1 mouth, 2 ears. Talk less, listen more. God forbid my wife get this far in the video. You guys are going to laugh so hard if she ever remix a video. Oh, look at this. Thank you so much, LinkedIn user. It was very informative. I appreciate that. All right. Well, I think we should be wrapping up now because I've spent an hour on here. I see in my calendar, as much as I'm on vacation, writing. I'm supposed to have a call with somebody. Oh, that was yesterday. I'm frightened. That was Tuesday. I have a call in 45 minutes. With who? Let me see. Actually, I'm not sure what this meeting is about. Interesting. Okay. Okay. I don't know. Well, let me see. I have the name of the company here. Somebody approached us. No, that's not what I meant. Yeah. An investment bank. Perfect. Please do more of this. You learned a lot. Yeah, we appreciate you. Oh man, thank you. I will do a lot more of this. We're gonna start them weekly. Let's start scheduling stuff. Somewhere's going to be a lot more flexible for me. So I'll start scheduling. But I'll get to bookmark them. They're going to be on YouTube, on my YouTube David Mullings channel as well. But I love doing this stuff. Let's set aside an hour once a week. Let's talk, ask you questions. Send them ahead of time in case you can't make the live, right? Send the question. I guess I should give you somewhere to send the question. info@bluemohocapital.com. Send the questions. Let's start getting. I guess it's like the mailing show. Send me mail. I'll answer questions. I think it's awesome. Send me questions in my direct messages on Instagram, on Twitter. Let's get direct messages. Send me the questions you want to ask. Let me answer them on air or live. That's kind of cool. So guys, thank you very much. I need to go and hydrate. It's been an hour and 15 minutes of me using the 1 mouth and not really using the 2 ears. So I need to go and rest, decompress, go and restart this company and this first time to this meeting within 45 minutes. I love that we have investment banks running us down though because our SEC offering is qualified. Right? We have an offering that's qualified. Yeah, the wrong time zone came on an hour late. I'm looking forward to. What do you mean you come on an hour late? The live thing is tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Jamaica time. So you're early. This is a test. You're early. Don't worry. You're well early. And this is recorded. I don't know if it's going to be saved on Instagram because I'm not streaming directly on Instagram. I'm streaming somewhere else. But it's on YouTube, it's on LinkedIn, it's on Facebook, it's on Twitter. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. See you tonight. Okay, go work on the graphics now. You guys are awesome. Great questions, great feedback. You guys rest, you guys hydrate. See you tonight. I appreciate it. I am officially out and let's get this done. Later, one love.